Um, when you're trying to prove universally quantified statement, you need to prove it for every member of the domain. Okay? That's the definition of universally quantified statement. Okay? So usually proving universally quantified statement is really hard. Okay? Because you need to prove it for every member of the domain. But disproving a universally quantified statement is usually very easy. Okay? All you need to do is you need to find one example, one member of the domain for which the statement is not true, and then you're done. Okay? So keep that in mind. Proving universally quantified statement requires you to prove it for every member of the domain, which sounds like a harder thing. Okay? But disproving it usually is easy. Okay? You just need to find out one example. उसको हम counter example कहते हैं. One example or one member of the domain for which the statement is not true, and then you're done. You have disproved it. Okay? It's the opposite for existentially quantified statement. Proving existentially quantified statement is extremely easy. Okay? Because you have to show the statement is true for what? For anyone. For just one member of the domain. Okay? If it's true for one member of the domain, you have the existential statement. Okay? But if you want to disprove it, oh boy, then you have to disprove it for every member of the domain. Okay? So proving universally quantified statement and disproving existentially quantified statement are the hard tasks. Okay? Again, people forget this. Okay, keep this in mind. The question: if a universally quantified statement is true, does that mean that existentially quantified statement is the same statement? Okay, I'm not changing the statement. What I'm changing is just the quantifier. Okay, universal quantifier मैंने लगाया and the statement is true. If I change my quantifier into an existential quantifier statement, does it remain true? Yes, we all agree. Okay? If the statement is true for every member of the domain, it's definitely true for at least one member of the domain. Okay? How about if it's not universal, if it's false with the universal quantifier? Is it false for existential quantifier as well? Okay, why not? Someone with raised hands? Yeah.
Because at least one might be true even if not all.
Yeah. If universally quantified statement is false, which means that it's not true for everyone. Okay? Which means that it might be true for some of them. Okay? So a wrong or a false or a false universally quantified statement does not. Speak louder. I can't hear you.
Can I turn my phone off? I forgot to.
Or you want to? Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. So that's. Yeah.
I do not understand the last thing about
Okay.
universal quantifier being false.
Okay, sure, good. So what is a universally quantified statement? The universally quantified statement says that whatever the statement is, okay, let's say कि जो मेरी statement है उसको मैं p of x करता हूँ, okay? So I have some statement p of x, okay? This is a predicate, okay? When I say an x is member of some domain, okay? Some d. For all x, p of x, what I actually mean is, what do I mean? What I mean is p of x1 and p of x2 and p of x3 and so on, okay? And p of x1, assuming there are finite members of this domain, okay? This is what a universally quantified statement is, okay? What I'm saying is that when I say that this is not true, okay? What I'm actually saying is that this is not true for at least one of them, okay? हो सकता है यहाँ पे कुछ चीज़ें true हों और हो सकता है कुछ चीज़ें not true हों, okay? That's when I make this statement false, okay? So what that means is that if I have a negation of for all x p of x, okay? This is not equal to or equivalent to negation of there exist x p of x. Okay? So the theory is it's possible that some of these statements are true and some of these statements are false. Okay? Which means that it's possible that there exists some x for which the statement is true. Okay? Negation of universally quantified statement is not the negation of existentially quantified statement. If the statement is same.
If the statement is false universally, then doesn't it mean that it is false for every value?
No, it does not mean that. Okay? It's just the negation of this thing. Negation of this thing is इनमें से कोई एक भी false हो गया तो ये false हो जाएगा. Okay? If one of them is false, this would become false. Right? It does not need that every one of them is false to make it false. ठीक है?
How do we know that one of them is false or like either one of them is false or all are false?
Oh, you have to check it. This does not, when I say negation of for all x p of x, it does not tell you how many of them are false. Okay? All it's saying is there's at least one for which the statement is false. Okay? ठीक है? क्या? You don't know how many हैं. Okay? हो सकता है कि वो सबके लिए false हो सकता है कि वो सिर्फ एक के लिए false हो. Okay? Good. Where did I put my do I want to ask another question right here? Okay, how about this? If the statement is true for existential quantifier, is it true for universal quantifier? Not necessarily, right? It's not necessarily true. If the statement is false for existential quantifier, is it also false for the?
Yes.
Yes, no? Think about it, give it a second. So all I'm saying is that there is an existentially quantified statement and it's false. Okay? It's not true. Does that imply negation of for all x p of x? Okay? It does, right? So this thing is saying कि कोई एक भी x ऐसा नहीं है जिसके लिए p of x true होगा. Okay? And this thing is saying p of x is not true for all of them. Okay? This is much bigger set than this one. Okay? This thing is saying that there is not a single x for which p of x is true. Okay? To make this true, you only need one x for which p of x is not true. And this thing is giving you everything. For all of them, this is not true. Okay?